Hey folks, welcome back to the Talos Principle 2. We've just completed our first visit into the Megastructure and found some intriguing hints about the possibility that Athena, the founder, and her apparent daughter, Miranda, may have been involved in its construction. There are many mysteries left to solve, and at the moment we cannot return here until we go solve a whole bunch more puzzles in the northern parts of the island. So let's hop in. Actually, before we do that, let's just check in with our expedition members, see if any of them have anything they want to talk about. But then we'll hop in the VTOL and head off to that next area. It looks like not. So actually, we don't want to get in the VTOL. We want to take the... Yes, we want to take the transport. All right, let's go. So we've got two areas available. The first one is Desolate Island North 1, a remote rocky island off the northwestern coast. Survey data suggests the area may be prone to landslides. 8 main puzzles, 2 lost puzzles, a lost lab and 2 stars, plus the gold puzzle, same as all the other areas we've been to so far. And then there's the Megastructure. All right, so it looks like we're going to have to solve another 24 plus 6 plus 6. A bunch more puzzles. Let's get to North 1 and get started.
You should be headed towards an island off the northern coast. The terrain's pretty rough, so be careful.
The island has another island attached to it.
Yes, it has several, actually.
How irritating.
What?
Oh my. Wow, look at this. Oh. Okay. So it seems the northern islands are the snow region, the cold region, I guess. Let's take this transport column of light upwards, I guess. And now we're on some sort of, I guess it's a floating structure? Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. So cool. It's such a different vibe from the forest we saw in the first 3 areas. So I'm not sure. I guess we take the bridge over. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So some of the puzzles are right here. Right here at the start. All right, let's check out number 1. Let's just dive in. All right, this one's called Mind-Body Dualism. Now that is an interesting puzzle title. That feels less like a hint and more like a philosophical concept. Oh my goodness, take control. Wow. Okay, so that's what the title's about. Mind-body dualism. Apparently, we can shuttle our consciousness over to this other body.
What the?
That's creepy cool, man. Double C's all the way. So we have to have a line of sight, it looks like. Oh no, I can't. How do I rescind control then? Oh, here we go. Okay, I meant to do this. Yeah, we have to have direct line of sight. I'm not even sure if we can do it through a gate. We could do it through this. Wow, what is this? Just an empty shell? It's moving. That's a cool concept. So, in the first game, they had like a time rewinder to give you kind of two people to work with, like a replay device where you would record yourself and then like a hologram version of you would repeat the actions you've done before. They've changed it up here with this remote control body. I guess there's no consciousness in it. It's just an empty shell. Man, this is cool stuff. I want to make sure when we leave, we are leaving with the right body, though. Can we tell the difference? Like, if I... Yeah, okay, that's clearly 1K. Is there a difference? They look pretty similar. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can tell. Okay, we can go through... We can't go through the blue gates, it looks like, but we can go through any type of iron grate. Wow. Okay, so this was just the tutorial puzzle to introduce the new mechanic. Not that hard. But I can see this getting really mind-bending and trippy. Here we can see the shape of the tower. This one's almost like a ship to me. Like we've got a long deck of a ship. Wow. All right. That's really interesting. So there's puzzle 1 complete. Let's take a peek around the outside here. Yeah, nothing much of interest. I'd love to get up there. I wonder if there's anything I can see. Is there like anything cool up here in this little... Okay, there's a stairway there, so at some point we may be able to get there. Yeah, I can see the ramp. Okay. Let's head up.
Miranda is the founder's daughter. It's still kind of blowing my mind. She came all the way out here, left everything she had behind, and created a new life. Why do you think she did that?
I think she did it to help her with her secret project.
That sounds cold. I hope it's not true. Miranda seems like such a lovely person. It would be terrible if she was created just to be a servant.
Well, there may have been a relationship that developed after the fact that was more warm than that, but I do suspect from the trials, the notes on the Noam project, that perhaps Miranda was created for a purpose. Do we have something else to talk with Yakut about? Oh, we've got a whole new set of interactions. Okay. What did you make of the Megastructure's interior?
You know, people throw around the word awesome a lot. I probably do it too, but I think what we saw in there is the proper meaning of the word.
Yeah, I can see that. Did you ever meet the founder?
No, I never did. I would have loved to.
Yeah, he's 764, so I guess that gives us some indication of when she left. How are you feeling?
I'm not sure, to be honest. This is all so surreal. Walking around here is so peaceful, but it's also, I don't know. One moment I feel inspired, the next, kind of creeped out.
What about trying some puzzles? Any change there?
Nope.
Okay. Any idea why the northern part of the island is mostly underwater?
Our ancestors relied heavily on fossil fuels for energy generation, which released a lot of carbon dioxide. This caused the atmosphere to trap more heat, which changed the planet's overall climate. The effect continued even after they were gone, and these low-lying areas were flooded. I've seen a lot of places like that.
Okay. Puzzle 2 is still down there. We haven't done it yet. This is the way onto the main section, I guess, of the island. So let's head back down. Let's finish the lower deck first. Okay, Byron's over here. Maybe we'll check in with Byron before we lose track of him.
Hey, 1K.
Yeah, let's start here. I noticed that Miranda called Athena her mother.
She did, yes.
Is that usual?
Some people in New Jerusalem choose to live in family units, although usually that involves marriage or equivalent ceremonies, not having children. You could say that Athena was a kind of mother to us, and Cornelius a kind of father, but it's not quite the same.
What if Athena left the island long ago? In other words, she's not here.
Then at least we may be able to find out what happened in New Jerusalem, why she came here. But I don't think she left the island. I think she's still here, waiting for us to make the right choices.
What makes you think that?
It's hard to articulate. There just seems to be so much intent here. There has to be a reason for all this. And Athena is the only reason that makes sense.
Let's see. What are the implications of Melville's analysis of the particle clouds?
Athena was always trying to understand the reality underneath what we perceive, the objective truth. That's why she was capable of leaving the simulation. And even after she was free, she never stopped trying to understand more. I suspect her research took her another step closer to understanding the truth. And such steps always challenge our conception of the universe. But that's the wonderful thing about science. We can adapt our views to the evidence.
So, the larger question that we've been debating amongst ourselves has been whether or not we should proceed. Like, you and I kind of agree that we need to advance, that we need to move forward. But Alcatraz and Hermanubis, the mayor, and some other members of New Jerusalem have talked about stability, about being careful and cautious, heeding the lessons of the past, and avoiding repeating the mistakes of our ancestors. Do you think the megastructure technology could be misused?
Could be? Yes, of course. All technology has the potential to be misused, from fire and the wheel to whatever makes these particle clouds. But that doesn't mean it has to be.
Strong agree. I think that's why you and I are kind of in the same faction, I guess. So, in your opinion, if technology isn't the problem, why did our ancestors destroy themselves?
Because they refused to grow up. They refused to take control of their lives. They let bureaucrats and financiers determine their destiny, and those people could not think beyond themselves, beyond the tiny, insignificant moment they were trapped in. Their technology could have saved them, but what really failed them was their imagination.
That is an interesting perspective. As I've said before, I think the size of the human race, the sheer scale of it, became something beyond our ability to speak with each other effectively and became too disjointed and chaotic for any kind of concerted directional goal to be even undertaken or agreed upon, let alone embarked upon for the human species. But your idea is kind of in that vein, I suppose. What about us? What about the new humans, the androids? Why do you believe there should be more people? And do you have a limit in mind?
I think every single human being is completely unique, and every instance of consciousness is a miracle. The more of us there are, the more alive the universe is. And the more we all interact with each other, the more complex the life of the universe becomes. So I believe that people are a fundamental good. I don't believe we're all flawless, but I think every one of us matters precisely because nothing else does.
Well, if you're a precious, self-reflection of the universe, surely you can tell me a joke.
Okay. How many robots does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know, how many?
Replacing a light bulb is a waste of resources, and the founder would be outraged.
I don't know if that's funny. It subverts your expectations, which good humor does, but all right, it's not bad.
Herman didn't seem to think so.
Speaking of Herman, he's someone who is diametrically opposed to your views. So does your faith in humanity ever waver?
In the principle of it, no. It's not just that I believe humanity is fundamentally good, although I do. It's that I think sentience is the foundation of everything else. What's the point of stars and galaxies, of hills and forests, without someone to perceive them? But my faith that we can actually grow up, that we can break out of these loops and take control of our destiny, that's something I struggle with every single day.
I see. I quite agree with that. The belief that we have that potential can be rock solid. The belief that we will achieve that potential could be more challenging. Do you believe in the existence of something sublime or transcendent?
In the sense of an interventionist deity? No. I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's not something I personally believe. But I do think there is something genuinely sublime in this universe, and it's right in front of us. Consciousness. The fact that this sense of self is even possible, that an arrangement of matter can produce a self-aware mind? Think about it. It's a fundamental property of the universe, an unbreakable law that matter has the inherent capacity to become more than the sum of its parts. That is the definition of transcendence.
That is the definition of transcendence. What a beautifully put statement. I really like Byron and his optimism and the way he perceives the universe. I think if 1K was gonna pick one of the people he's met to be his best friend, it would probably be Byron here. All right, slightly more mundane matters. Since you have the information about this, I'm just curious, how did Mayor Hermanubis get elected in the first place?
Herman? Honestly, I think he makes people feel safe. The world beyond our walls is frightening. Human history is full of failures and disasters. It's easy to look at that and recoil. Herman offers a vision of the future that feels contained, manageable.
Yeah, but what do we sacrifice to gain that safety?
Precisely. Our curiosity, our creativity, our ability to grow. Everything that made us who we are. To me, that's not worth it.
All right. We'll see you later, buddy. Man, Byron's a cool guy. I like him. All right. Got a couple more puzzles here, 2 and 3. And then, okay, over here we can see we're going to need, at some point, some tetraminos to cross over that way. Okay. And then we have, looks like we got a signpost here. Okay, all right. Let's go do some puzzling, shall we? All right, puzzle 2, leg up. All right. What is this? Take platform. Oh, okay. Yeah, so in the first game you could have, if you were holding the platform, your copy could stand on top of it, and you could get up onto higher areas. So we don't have the replay machine, but we have something, we have the remote control body, I guess. Okay, that's not what we're doing right now. Let's drop that there, take control of this, and move out. Okay. You are going to take the platform and stand on the button. Then we're going to take control of him. He's going to hop on the platform. And then we'll carry him over here. Hop over here. Oh, how do we get... Oh, I have to take the platform. And there we go. But now I'm in the copy body. So maybe there's no difference between the two bodies. Maybe it's literally my full consciousness traveling back and forth.
Byron, I feel like a caveman trying to study Bose-Einstein condensate. I'm seeing unknown particles whose every property violates the laws of physics, apparently capable of being controlled and recombined into just about anything. It's ridiculous.
Maybe someone in New Jerusalem can figure it out.
Sure, just give them another 1,000 years.
Speaking of New Jerusalem, we have some new social media and research things here. So, preliminary analysis. Imagine an ant trying to make a sense of a nuclear power plant, an armadillo trying to explain disco music. You get my drift. These particle clouds contradict every known law of physics. What's really shocking here isn't that we're seeing a new and powerful technology. It's what this implies about our grasp of physics. A lot of what we thought we know must be wrong or incomplete on some fundamental level. A humbling realization. I don't like it, says Melville. And then we have Yakut inside the megastructure. From the degree to which vegetation seems to have spread, I would guess the megastructure has been abandoned for a while, although the combination of moisture and heat does create an ideal environment for plant growth. What makes it harder to be sure is that some plants have clearly been placed for decorative purposes, so a lot of what we're seeing may have spread from there rather than coming in from the outside. It's surprisingly beautiful, but also kind of creepy. True that. We have the founder megathread here. Jeremy says, please keep discussion of the alleged presence of the founder at the site of the megastructure confined to this thread. Lebistros, I'm still in shock. I wasn't even sure the founder was still alive. Ovis, of course she is. And now that we've reached completion day, she sent us her sacred messengers. Jacques, it could still be aliens pretending to be the founder. Zagoran, it's not aliens. And if Prometheus and Pandora are her sacred messages, why has one apparently chained the other? Thecla, the day of her return is imminent. Orinia, so now you agree that Byron was right to want an expedition? In fact, it was the founder's will all along? And when you said it would be wrong to even consider going to the island, you were acting against the founder? Thecla, your word games aren't going to help you when the founder returns, Orinia. Niam says, it was wonderful to hear Athena's voice again, but with all the emotion inherent in this matter, we should be careful not to get swept away. We don't really understand anything yet. Skylar says, I can't help but wonder if Miranda is her daughter. Was Athena trying to start a new civilization? Did she abandon New Jerusalem? 1K here has to chip in. It's conceivable. I don't think she was abandoning New Jerusalem. I think she was thinking ahead, thinking about our future, about meaning and understanding, right? I suspect she constructed Athena with those trials, the Noema project. She wanted to get a daughter who was capable of helping her create the particle clouds and build the next set of tests for the next civilization. But I don't know. I don't think she would never abandon New Jerusalem, I think, is what he would have to say here. Ovis says, 1K is right. It's impossible. Something else is going on here. Amesh says, I agree. There must be more to this. She must have some kind of plan. Why else would she create all those puzzles? An excellent question. All right, let's get into puzzle number 3. Dual stream. Okay. So you get a platform. Whoa, what happened? Where? Ah, right, okay. We can't send it direct. It has to be held by someone. So, let's see. We've got a connector. We need to connect that to two things. Alright, so let's set up the connection first. And then put this down. Where's the light source? Oh, it's back there. Let's get you over here. Take the platform. And I guess we stand here. And then swap over. And then you pick this up, keeping the connections. Jump there. And place that like that. There we go. Oh, it's not quite right. It's not quite high enough. So how... Yeah, that's over on the side. It's not over it, though. So, like, if I go in here, and then I take control... I think I can hop over here now. Like that. There we go. That's it. Okay. There we go. Puzzle number 3. Complete.
Okay. I've been watching you solve these puzzles, and this body replication tech is incredible. It just casually blows up the very foundations of our society.
Huh. I mean, you're right. It is revolutionary.
You can say that again. Making even just one of us is bloody hard. We're not like toasters. You don't just weld together a couple of wires and a motherboard and call it a day. Not to mention how hard it is to even find some of the materials. And this thing just, poof, new human.
But the goal was to stop at 1,000, wasn't it?
It was. Or was it? And even if it was, sorry to be heretical, but does it matter? If we can figure out how this works, we can finally, easily create more people. We can grow. We can expand. We can build a real civilization. Isn't that worth pursuing?
Let's see. Yeah, I think this is what 1K feels. Maybe there is some point where there's enough people, but this is not it.
Look, yes, large amounts of people can cause problems. But even the problems they cause are interesting. Because without people, the world is boring. I'm not even saying there isn't some planetary limit. But I've done the maths. It's in the high billions, not a measly 1,000. Anyway, we all need to think about what this means. Glad you and I are more or less on the same page.
All right, I'll get back to work. New content available. Some research. Minds and bodies. The founder appears to have developed a technology that prints new bodies using those particle clouds we're already familiar with. These bodies come with a protocol for instantly transferring the user's mind. I cannot sufficiently underline how mad this is. The implications would be breathtaking if we breathed. There seem to be a number of safeguards, so far I've not been able to get the tech to work outside the puzzles. I did manage to sort of make sense of the mind transfer protocol, however, and I'm uploading all the data I've collected. It will need to be studied extensively before it can be used, but I can think of a lot of potential applications. What really grinds my gears, though, is how casually it's all deployed. It takes us ages to make a new body, and here there's a whole bunch of them doing no more than holding up platforms or standing on pressure plates. Is this all a joke? I can see how that would grind her gears.
Yes?
Did you ever meet the founder?
Of course I did. She and Cornelius were both there when I was born. Neath was just starting to take over back then, and they were still showing her the ropes.
What was the founder like?
Busy. There was always another problem to solve. Did you know that she never upgraded her body? Always prioritized everyone else. That's the kind of work ethic I wish more people had.
I do agree. I think discipline and the ability to get things done is very important. I do think there needs to be space for other things in life.
I suppose so. For me, living is doing. But I understand that other people have more varied needs.
Do you ever crave companionship?
I've never felt the need for a partner as such. I've met a lot of people who do. Athena and Cornelius, Atal and Damien, Sarabai and Hypatia. But that's not really for me. So far, at least. But I do have social needs like anyone. What I like is a pleasant buzz of humanity. Not too close, not too far. Something I can be part of without having it get in my face all the time.
Same? Is that fair to say? Same? I quite like, oh my god, what's her name? Melville, as well as Byron. I kind of like all the expedition members, but I feel like Byron is the most optimistic of the group, the most future-looking, forward-looking. And Melville is the one who's most grounded in the present, I think. There are things to do, and she just gets them done. What do you think about Miranda?
She's so innocent and full of wonder, it should make me want to retch, metaphorically speaking. But I'll admit, she's sort of charming.
Agreed. Why do you think the founder left New Jerusalem?
Maybe she just got sick of things breaking all the time.
Well, speaking of New Jerusalem, how do you feel about Mayor Herman's policies?
I used to think it was the only safe way forward. Keep things simple and under control. Now I'm not so sure that ever made sense.
So your exposure to the tech here on the island is changing your perspective, huh? I can totally appreciate that. What exactly can these particle clouds do?
As far as I can tell, anything, which is insane.
What about the overloads, the visions I'm getting? Could they affect my mind?
The data stream overloads? Yes, they could. There are safeguards to prevent that from happening, but these aren't exactly carefully controlled circumstances. It's hard to predict. Our brains are absurdly complicated, which is why it's so hard to make more of us.
Yeah, that's one thing I never fully understood, because I can understand the simulation running algorithms and whatnot until it achieved some sort of sentience, but I never understood how the hardware could work. I guess that's just part and parcel of the suspension of disbelief that you have to engage in when interacting and engaging with a game or a story like this. Right before humanity went extinct, they figured out some kind of hardware that can simulate, trillions of neurons acting in a neural network that they just couldn't program it correctly, and that's what the simulation was for, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for speaking with me, Melville. I should get back to work.
This body replication technology is proof of just how vital this expedition is. We may not know how it works and what its limitations are, but the technology itself isn't even what really matters. What matters is to expand our imagination, to realize that other futures are possible. I'm glad you see it that way too, 1K. After all, the world is better with you in it, isn't it?
Hard agree. Hard agree. All right, so up here, we have a few of the tetraminos we need, I guess. And Byron looking down on puzzles 1 and 2. All right. It's a big ship, you guys. Very big structure. Not quite as enormous, I think, as the grasslands, but still quite large. Let's head out and find puzzle 4 if we can. It looks like it's all the way over there, or maybe down there. Should we go touch some snow? Right, there's the entrance. Oh, that's got to be a lost puzzle, I would think. No, that's puzzle 5. Okay. Let's do number 4, shall we? This is called High Ground. All right, more body transfer tech. Oh, we've got 2 of them now. Oh, that's interesting. So... okay, so... let me hold this. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to take control. And then you're going to come over here and jump on here. And then what? Then you're going to take the hexahedron? Huh. I don't have another... So then we take control of this guy. He can sort of... Oh, no, 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 no. We'll move this here and take control of the bottom guy. And then we'll come stand here. And then go up top. So he's now... If we look... Where are they? Yeah. So he's standing on him, who's standing on the box. But that's still not high enough to jump up there. How could we get even higher? I don't understand. We only have limited stuff. I guess... Hold on. Can he pick up the box? We can take it. And we can hold it like this, perhaps. So he's holding this. Can I jump up on it? No, I can't. I was thinking I could jump up on the box and then get enough height for everything to work together, but... Can I jump anywhere? Can I get any little bit of height anywhere? Doesn't seem like it. How are we meant to do this, then? Oh, there's another... Okay, I see it now. Okay, I see it now. Grab it. Oh, is that not another platform? Hold on. You're up here. Yes, now we can take the platform. Okay. So now the question becomes, how do we get him on the stack? I think we need him on top on one of these guys. And then if we come over here and have bottom guy jump here and then jump there. Now we've got 3 high. Could you make it there if you were there? You could, I think. So let's go down and go down. And let's walk over here. Slowly, I guess, or carefully. No, we're still not quite there. Okay, so we're gonna need to move this over here. Like this. Okay, and then... You pick this up and stand here. And then you jump there and there. All right, now we got it. Yes. Okay, what a cool puzzle. Stacking 3 bodies high. I have no idea which was the original body now, so we've lost track of it. But there we go. There's puzzle 4 complete.
I'm glad to see all those overloads haven't damaged your logic circuits.
Oh, that's sweet, Melville. You do care. All right, let's get out of here. Who's this? That's Yakut, right? Okay. So we can head down to 5 this way. Long and winding road here. The soundtrack's pretty dope, I have to say. In the first game, they had just kind of like a few songs looping, but there seems to be different, more varied music in this one. Let's see. We have a thread here on body replication. The technology discovered by the expedition changes everything. This is Docycles. Every argument about how hard it is to get access to the resources necessary to create more of us goes out the window. We can create more people. 1K doesn't have to be the last. And it would be easy. Are we really going to give up just because of the goal? Elwyn replies, energy doesn't just come from nowhere. We have no idea what the real cost behind this technology is. And Ovis adds, besides, the goal isn't ideal, not just a limit we ran into by accident. It's the will of the founder. Zagoran says, yeah, right. Elwyn, it's not necessary to share a personal belief in the founder to understand the value of the goal. It's clear to all but the most radical that humanity needs limits for its own sake and for the sake of the planet. Damien says, you say that as if it was self-evident. It's not. You're smuggling up a whole lot of misanthropic ideas into the conversation under the disguise of reasonableness. Your premises are completely rotten. Elwyn, I believe that the results of human history speak for themselves, and I find it shocking that anyone would disagree with something so obvious. Zagarin, shocking that anyone would value human beings and think that maybe our ancestors could have solved their problems using their brains instead of preaching misery for all? Like, maybe there is some fucking point in blaming other factors beyond technology and growth. Like, I don't know, people in positions of authority preaching their self-important bullshit morality instead of trying to solve ordinary people's problems? Oh, Zagarin's angry. Elwyn says, authority? I'm just an academic. Damien says, that's completely disingenuous and you know it. Your clique has the mayor's ear. Elwyn, clique? I assure you, there's no such thing. Jeremy says, this conversation is getting out of hand. If you can't behave, I'm shutting this thread down. Interesting. How does he feel about freedom of speech? I definitely feel people are getting heated and they're arguing with emotion instead of rationality. And I like the idea of it being in a public square, so I don't think closing the thread or taking it to private is the answer. So these conversations are necessary, they should not be banned. This conversation is irritating, but it should be allowed as a matter of principle. I don't think it's so much about principle. I think this is the fundamental question, and we as a society need to find our answer. Do we make more people or don't we? That debate must be had in the public square, and it cannot be hidden or shielded. And if it gets overheated, that's just the price of progress, I think. These conversations are necessary. They should not be banned. Damien says, thank you, 1K. New Jerusalem is a democracy, and without free speech, a democracy is a sham. Jeremy says, a lovely sentiment, but you should try moderating this forum and see what it's like. If every conversation's allowed to explode, instability is guaranteed. We have to set reasonable limits on behavior. Thread closed. All right. I mean, it's not that I don't see both sides of the argument. But I believe, realistically, these arguments, even when they get out of hand, have to be had, honestly. We have to be able to understand each other and communicate with each other. I do think the participants who are getting like overheated need to there needs to be some way to check them and get them to like remember that we're all here together and we need to live with each other. But so like the anger and the expletives and the potential for inciting violence, I guess, is the real threat. But that's probably not going to happen anytime soon with this group. I actually don't know. When we were in New Jerusalem, I didn't see anything resembling like crime and punishment. There were no cops. There were no prisons. I don't think they attack each other with anything except arguments. But even so, with 1,000 people, at a certain point, don't you run up against that problem? Even if they are new humans, somebody getting angry enough might decide to try to damage another person to shut down their argument. It could happen, right? I don't know if we've had like a Cain and Abel moment in the android society yet. What an interesting idea. What an interesting question. I wonder if it's happened or if it could happen. We know that they can be killed, for lack of a better word, because of what happened at New Alexandria. But I don't know if there's been any crime. I wish I could ask that to like Byron or Melville or Yakut or Alcatraz or see a thread about it. Anyway, guys, I think that's an interesting point to stop and take a break. Obviously, we've done the first 4 puzzles here. We've got 4 more plus the stars and the lost puzzles to do. And then 2 more areas after that before we can get back into that tantalizing megastructure. So we got to take breaks. We got to pace ourselves. I'll take one here. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Look forward to the next video, and I hope to see you there. Take care.